You're listening to episode 7 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. I don't know why, but I was a little throaty there. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to take a shot of this Pollinator Pills from Saranac. There. I think properly lubricated now. And if you missed episode 6, that was the first of the Patreon-only episodes. I had my wife, Chigs. Jamie was on the podcast. So again, the only way you're going to hear that is head on over to patreon.com/WheelersDog and, send a little love in the form of currency my way. But, hey, it was pretty cool to have her hanging out. She'd been bugging me. Well, maybe not that much, but she was bugging me quite a bit to be on. And then she wouldn't shut up after she said she was nervous. She just kept rambling on and on and on. So anyway, we did do a little discussion on the mill. And I think that I'm going to have a Patreon-only segment called Run of the Mill. That's what I've come up with. I was discussing it with Chigs after the podcast recording, that Run of the Mill. Yeah, it's going to be a special little feature, something new or something crazy that the mill has done to infuriate me or confound me or just left me scratching my head. Yeah. The Run of the Mill.
The oldest, longest, continuously running pop culture podcast in North Carolina, The Less Desirables, brings you the movers and shakers that make Winston-Salem unique. Available everywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com.
Again, welcome to episode 7 of the Wheeler's Dog Podcast. And one of the things I want to talk about is the Monsters of Rock cruise. I just saw a thing for it on Facebook yesterday. After the podcast, Chigs and I recorded, and Alice Cooper is the headliner on this one. I've seen Alice Cooper lots of times. The guy puts on a phenomenal show. If you've never seen him, by all means, you hear he's playing around somewhere, do it. The guy is just a heck of a showman. He set the bar pretty high in the 70s. Well, the bar hasn't lowered at all whatsoever. It's lots of fun. And also, Little Caesar is going to be, they were just announced yesterday that they were going to be on this Monsters of Rock Cruise 2021. Little Caesar was one of these bands that never got any love, especially from their own record label, Geffen Records. They were kind of like in the vein of Guns N' Roses, where they were more or less a hard rockin' type band, but not so much of the hair variety. I absolutely loved them. That first album, that first full-length album, they had an EP out, but the first album was fantastic on Geffen Records. And also one of my favorite bands from Baltimore, Kix, K-I-X. Kix is going to be on this cruise. Right there, to me, that makes it worthwhile. I haven't seen Kix, since the Blow My Fuse days, I think, when they opened up for AC/DC. I honestly did not know how this great bar band was going to handle a much larger stage at the Greensboro Coliseum. And damn, if they didn't just take it over and act like they've been there their whole damn lives. Kix is also an amazing band to see live. And then there's some other bands that got down. Crazy Lixx. Lixx. I don't know anything about them. Then there's LA Guns. Never was a big fan of LA Guns. They just, I don't know. They didn't do a thing for me. Musically, lyrically, nothing. Loudness is going to be there. Incredible guitarist, and I don't even remember the guy's name. But Loudness is one of those Japanese hard rock bands that came out in the 80s, and they've got a little bit of attention. Thunder from the East album, and they never really broke big here in America. Then there's Michael Monroe. He's got a new album out called One Man Gang. It's pretty darn good. If you don't know who he is, he's the former singer of Hanoi Rocks. And Razzle was the drummer who, died in a car wreck with Vince Neil of Motley Crue. Hanoi Rocks was just starting to take off, starting to grab hold, and then bam, that just knocked the knees right out of under that band. And Michael Monroe's had a solo career, but not a whole lot of output over the years. But his latest album, One Man Gang, is pretty good. Then there's Pat Travers. Yeah, boom, boom, out go the lights, Pat Travers. I'd like to see him. I've never seen him. Then there's Rose Tattoo, one of those great bands from Australia. You know one of their songs. I know you do. It's called Nice Boys. Guns N' Roses used to cover this in their early days, and I believe they still cover Nice Boys. You know, Nice Boys, don't play rock and roll. Okay, you know the song. Anyway, then Saxon. I've never seen Saxon. I don't think they've even come around this area here in the southeast, maybe Florida, maybe Georgia, but I don't ever recall them being in North Carolina unless they just kind of snuck in. Then there's Skid Row. I don't know if it's with or without Sebastian Bach. I've seen them both versions. I've never been that big of a Skid Row fan at all. Tom Kiefer, from Cinderella. Cinderella, again, one of those great underrated bands. Heartbreak Station. Best album they ever put out. Fantastic album. They were just kind of lumped in with all the quote-unquote hair metal stuff because they like to pump up their hair and they like to wear, pretty close to women's clothing. They really dolled it up, wore the makeup and everything, but really at the heart of Cinderella, they're just a damn loud blues band. That's what they are. And Tom Kiefer has been putting out some really good solo stuff. Then there's XYZ. I remember these guys. I think they came out on Enigma at the time, during the 80s hard rock phase, where every band with Hairspray and their hair was getting signed in LA, and they didn't appeal to me. But then they also say there's more bands to come on this cruise. So again, that's the Monsters of Rock cruise in 2021. It's going to be out, I guess, on the ocean for 5 days. They stop in a couple of ports. So I talked to my wife about it because, that's the only way you're going to get me on a cruise ship is one of these Monsters of Rock cruises. Because I would have fun. I'd be at Alice Cooper. I'd be at Little Caesar. I'd be at Kix. Be it Michael Monroe, Pat Travers, Rose Tattoo. Saxon, I can take or leave, but at least I can say I saw them. And Tom Kiefer I would definitely check out. But my wife, she's like, well, how much is it? And all the nice VIP stuff is already gone. Yeah, people have swallowed that up. But I think the cheapest tickets for us would be in the $1,560 range. I'm talking about $1,560, and that's a piece. But honestly, I think it would be worth it. But that's just me. I can understand her reluctance because, she doesn't know anything other than Alice Cooper, Little Caesar, Kix, and maybe one Pat Travers song, couple of Rose Tattoo. And if Tom Kiefer's doing any Cinderella, then she knows some of that. But, for me, that's the only way you're going to get me on a cruise ship. As a matter of fact, my mother-in-law, when she first moved in with us, she decided that she was going to take me and my wife on a cruise with her, with some other friends, and I did not want to go. I just did not want to go. But my wife was like, you're going on a cruise? You don't have to pay a dime for it, and you don't want to go? What is wrong with you? I'll tell you what's wrong with me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care for being on a boat where I don't have access to basically the internet. It's I hear it's kind of choppy. My buddy Jonathan, that I've known since 7th grade, he's an IT guy, and he likes taking cruises with his wife. And he told me, he was like, man, there's no point in even trying to do anything on the internet. You know, you can forget it. He said, you got 3,500 people on a ship, and everybody's trying to do something online. Because I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe there's a TV in the cabin, and I can stream a little TV, or I can stream music, what I want to hear, but no, that's not going to happen. So that really depressed me, because I don't want to hear the music that's on the boat. You know, I'm sure it's all of a island nature, and that would just drive me insane. It would drive me batty. And then I wouldn't be able to watch TV. I'm sure if I went into one of the bars or something, they probably had like some sort of satellite TV, but then it would be stuck to something live. I wouldn't be able to sit down and watch something on Netflix, because my idea of going on a vacation is doing absolutely nothing. I'm not one of these people that like to run around, zip around here and there. If I'm on vacation, I seriously want to recharge. I don't want to, jump into Puerto Rico and go see this and go see that. And hey, let's go see where Bacardi's being made. I don't care. It's like brewery tours. You've seen one, you've seen them all. Don't care. So that's just me. Plus, if I can see it in a photograph, a book, online, because I really don't care. I don't like beaches. I don't like the sand. I don't care for the sun. If I could do without the sun, I need it for warmth and food. But if I could do without the sun, I would. I'd totally be fine without it. And sand, oh God, it gets everywhere. Just can't stand it. The sea, it's filthy. There's all these fish and marine animals out there pooping all over the place. Then you've got ships out at sea dumping over God knows what into the ocean. And then you got all the sewer stuff that gets poured into it. Ugh. No, thank you. I don't get into the ocean. No, don't like it. But my idea of a cruise is not fun. And it's like a buddy of mine, Tracy Thornton, said, it's like being on a big shopping mall that's at sea. You keep running into the same people, and then somebody will start some conversation. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody that's very uninteresting will always start some sort of conversation with you, and then every time they see you, they think you're best buds, and they want to hang out, and all you want to do is just, poke your eardrums out to get away from them. So I just can't imagine doing that at all. But if you've got some rock bands playing, that's my idea of a fun cruise right there. So I don't think I can talk the wife into it. So, yeah. The last cruise my wife and mother-in-law went on, Jamie came back with the flu. She had the flu while she was on the cruise. At least that's what the doctor told her. And she had a miserable time. And then on top of it, the mill went with them, and everybody there wanted to constantly be doing something. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's tramp around the island. Let's do this. Let's see that. And so the mill has decided, as much as she enjoyed being out of the country and seeing all these sights, she's pretty much done with cruises altogether. And coming up next, I'm going to play a little tune here for you. The open theme and the close theme. That's by a guy named Bob Richardson. Bob Richardson is a singer-songwriter, plays a lot of different instruments, sings, hell of a vocalist, and how he does it while drumming, it always amazed me because he's such a powerful drummer. But he's got this band out now, Rich Kid Express. He also operates label Squib Kick Records. Give them a like on Facebook along with Rich Kid Express. They're getting some airplay worldwide with a song called Just a Dog. And so I told Bob that I would play it, and here it is. Enjoy.
Stars.
Just a Dog from Rich Kid Express. Thank you, Bob Richardson, for allowing me to play it on the podcast. Again, you can find them on just about anywhere you stream tunes. Check them out on Facebook, Rich Kid Express, along with Squib Kick Records. That way you can find out if you want a hard copy of this. I'm sure you can find it. Maybe it's CD Baby, something like that. Or just check them out on Facebook. See if they've got, contact. I'm sure they do. But you can stream it just about anywhere.
Eating Winston-Salem, one restaurant at a time. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is available everywhere you find podcasts and at tldpodnetwork.com. Now that's delicious.
And on, episode 5 of the Wheeler's Dog podcast, I was talking about my fun I used to have with telemarketers. And our buddy Chris called in all the way from Minnesota, and he talks about a way that he likes to hassle telemarketers.
Hey Eugene, Chris here. Just wanted to let you know, really enjoying your Wheeler's Dog podcast, and after listening to yours today, talking about telemarketers, just wanted to share a funny story with you, or what I think is a funny story. I actually love messing with people's minds somewhat, that I have a warped sense of humor, and enjoy keeping telemarketers on the line as long as possible and without being rude. Lately, it's been not that long of a period of time. I tell them that I am thankful that they called. I say before I conduct business with them, I would like to have a time of prayer with them. I ask them as if they have any prayer requests, personal, that I could pray for them directly and, just share this time before we conduct business. Surprisingly, I get a lot of spammers and people hanging up on me rather quickly. So nobody's actually taken me up on it. Just thought I would share that with you as another way to enjoy your time with telemarketers. Thanks, Eugene. Have a great day.
Yep, that's an excellent idea. I think I'll have to give that a try. Yeah, if I'm at home and one of these people call while I'm just sitting around doing nothing, I might just try the religious angle on one of these people just to have a little fun. Again, Chris, thank you for calling the Wheeler's Dog Speak line, and you can speak your piece as well. Nobody's going to answer the phone. No one's going to talk to you. If you just want to leave a message, leave a comment, anything, criticism, I don't care, recipes, throw it in there. 336-422-6006. That is the Wheeler's Dog Speak line. You can go ahead and give it a call just like Chris there. And don't forget patreon.com/WheelersDog. You get a bonus podcast every week. Episode 6 is sitting there waiting for you. All you got to do is donate $4 or more to support my efforts doing this Wheeler's Dog podcast. And boom, you'll unlock all the audio. And for $8 or more, you're in the Behind the Bark VIP. And that's where I'm going to send out special little things to each member of the VIP Behind the Bark Club to show my appreciation. But again, $4 gets you all the audio. You can hear the last one, episode 6, and the upcoming episode 8. That'll be out sometime early next week. This is the one for the masses. So, also on that Patreon episode, I don't hit you up with little things like, begging for money. But I do appreciate everybody that's contributed to my cause. Again, that's patreon.com, patreon.com/WheelersDog. So feel free to get in there and, donate a little money my way. And again, think about something that maybe a cup of coffee or two that you could do without for a month. Because that's it. Just starts at $4 a month. That's it. And you get 4 bonus podcasts a month. So that's like $1 a podcast. But hey, you don't have to be stuck on that number. You can go for more. Anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to the Wheelers Dog podcast. Again, my thanks to my buddy Tim Beeman of the Less Desirables and the Less Desirables Network. What you don't know is I record this, I put it all together, and I sent it to him to let him do his magic on his end, whatever server he puts it on, so it gets distributed out to everybody, and everybody can check it out. And he's also kind enough to put it on YouTube for me. Well, he doesn't put it on there for me. He just transfers it to MP4 and puts it on YouTube. So you can check out the Wheelers Dog podcast, all the odd number ones and the first 5, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Let's see, Breaker. We're on Breaker now. Jay, thank you for subscribing. I saw that. Also, let's see, where else are we? Stitcher Radio. We're also there. So thanks again, Tim, for all your help. And again, thanks to Bob Richardson from Rich Kid Express and Squib at Kick Records for that song, Just a Dog. I do appreciate it. And give them a like as well on Facebook, as well as the Wheelers Dog podcast. Just look up Wheelers Dog on Facebook, give us a like. Follow us on Twitter, at Wheelers Dog. And also Wheelers Dog is on Instagram too. So if you'd like to follow with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, thanks again for listening to the Wheelers Dog podcast. I'll talk at you later. You're going on a cruise, you don't have to pay a dime for it, and you don't want to go? What is wrong with you?